I wanted to quickly give you something that have found in my writing career, copywriting career, to be an extremely useful formula. I learned it from a wonderful man named Stephen Pidgeon. He's from the UK. He's in the UK. And Stephen built the United Kingdom's biggest direct mail fundraising firm. And he started on his dining room table. And by the time he sold it for a considerable amount of money, I believe, he had over 400 employees. Now, what was interesting about this is that they had a very simple formula for storytelling that they used in all of their appeals. And I want to introduce that formula with this statement here. If there are no problems to solve, donors have nothing to do. Often, I think we just, we want to avoid maybe talking about the bad things. And so, we kind of go to people asking for money and it's like, well, but why? So you want to give donors a problem to solve. And this is the formula. This is, by the way, Stephen's book, and it's well worth purchasing and reading. It's not just about direct mail. It's also about bequests, how to love your donors to death. And the formula that he talks about in there, the 4 pillars, he calls it, is composed of these elements. You got the vision, where would we like to go? What would the world look like if we didn't have these problems? You've got the people served, the puppies and kittens and kids. You've got the enemy. Now, the enemy can be almost anything. It really can, as you'll see. I'm going to give you just 2 examples, but they'll make this much clearer. And then there's the hero. And the hero is you, the donor, participating, getting out of your inertia and making a gift and therefore becoming part of this tribe of people trying to solve, to defeat, I should say, the enemy. And here's a t-shirt I bought in Detroit, Everybody versus Cancer. It's perfect because it kind of takes these 4 elements and gets to the heart of the matter, which is the hero defeats the enemy, okay? So let's look at an example. This is from the winter campaigning of USA for UNHCR, which is the UN Refugee Agency. And it's an online ad, or it's actually their website homepage. And I've labeled a couple of things here. So I've labeled it using the 4 elements of the Stephen Pidgeon formula. And also I wanted to make sure that you were noting the eye contact. So she's staring right at you. That's the person served. What's the enemy? Well, in this case, it's winter. It's cold. These camps are tents. And you can see snowflakes in her hair, and you can see snow on the ground, and this is the living conditions she's trying to survive in. And right here, who's the hero? Refugees need you this winter, right in the middle of the page. The most important word in English sales vocabulary, the word you, is right there, right in the center. And then the vision is brilliant because it's only one word, hope. That's all we really have to offer donors, for them to say, okay, I'm going to step up and try to be of use to this young child. Another thing that's happening here, by the way, and it's labeled Take Me on a Journey, that's one of the things that you can do or should do in fundraising communications. When you're talking to your donors, take them on a journey. Take them to some place they won't otherwise ever go to, like in this case, a refugee camp. Here's another example. Now, this is from Pareto down in Australia. Pareto is Australia's biggest direct mail fundraising firm, telephone fundraising firm. And in this case, they're doing Facebook fundraising. And it's a perfect illustration, though, of the Stephen Pidgeon 4 Pillars formula. You see these big words, fluff and bite. Those were thrown in by Pareto. And all that means is fluff is your story, bite is where you have your call to action, where you actually ask for the gift. But let's look at it through the eyes of the Pidgeon formula. Who served? Well, we saved 1,000 words by showing you, as we showed you with the UNHCR, the person, in this case, the dog, the street dog who was sick and, attacked and so forth. Now is getting good veterinary care thanks to charity, philanthropy, your philanthropy. Who's the enemy? The street is the enemy. Attacked by so many. I've never been so scared. I didn't know how it was going to end. I am a street dog called Twaddle, blah, 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 blah. And I've never had an owner or someone to look after me. And that's the enemy. The street is the enemy, the circumstances he has to survive in. What's the vision? Well, down here it says, with just a few dollars a week, you can put an end to suffering. That's the vision for these street dogs and get them the medical treatment they so urgently need. And finally, the hero, only you can make a difference for street dogs that have nobody else. Please click here. This formula, I use it pretty much with every direct mail campaign I do, with every case I write, whatever the donor communication is, because it makes sure that I cover the 4 elements that matter so much. And defeating that enemy is probably the most important aspect of it. So next time you're writing, think about these 4 elements: the enemy, the vision, the served, and the hero. And if you get these figured out in advance, your writing will go so much easier.